Why, hello YouTube. So I think I got all the junk that it's going to take to make my new tires work. So this is the new tire. I'll just show you the labeling for it. Vittoria Torreno. It's mostly for, it says good for hard pack. And in August, that's all I'll be riding. So this is the tire itself, and I'll compare that to the, so this is the new tire. What it's got is a very almost slick tread here in the center. Here's the old tire, and you can see quite a bit more aggressive tread. This is a 2.35. This is a 2.1, and 2.1 is the lowest the lowest width I can get that will work with the Tannus Armour inserts. And so if you look real close, you can kind of see that little puncture right there, if I can see that, right at the end of that line. That's what caused all this trouble. So I took it to the bicycle shop, and he said, well, you probably can't patch or plug that. But he said, if you lay it on the side, the sealant will probably seal it. And that's probably true, but regardless, I'm going to put in more thin tires. So I found these tubeless valves, and the way it works is that it's got a thin stem like a Presto valve would have, but it's got a larger Schrader valve. I hate Presto valves. They're just so difficult to deal with, and every gas station has this. So what you do is you basically just screw this in, and then it will tighten up and then seal the rim between that. So the way what's good for is that you can pull off this valve part in order to add sealant to it. So this part here comes undone, and there's a little O-ring, and then you've got a wide clear part to add sealant to. So this is the valve stem installed. So this is a WTB COM Trail I-30, 30 millimeters. And it says that the narrowest you can go with it is 42 millimeters up to 70. So 42 is like an inch and a half. I couldn't really find a really good inch-and-a-half tire. I think these will work pretty well as an all-around. So the first thing I'm going to do is just hit the contact surfaces with a little bit of soapy water, and I mean it's just a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 squirts of dish soap in like 4 ounces. It'll just make everything slide better, and then hit the insert a little bit too. Right on this edge, that's where all of it will be trying to hang up. And again, the reason I'm doing this is because I blew out my tire. The hope is that even if I get a flat, the tire will stay on the rim. When it goes off the rim, that's where stuff happens. Place to put the valve says air valve. That's pretty plain. Okay, so the insert is totally in. Now just put the outer bead in. Maybe give it just a little bit more shot right on the bead. So typically you want to start or end at the valve. So you start at the 180 degrees opposite to the valve. So it's the problem is that the insert, it kind of keeps it from going in the bead. I've got a fancy tool that I can do to hold one of the beads down. Let me go get that. So this is a tool made by Park Tools. It's just sometimes it's really hard to get tubeless tires off their bead, so it just works as a clamp. It's just a fancy vice grips. So I'm going to put this on this one side. So that should hold one side, so I can work on the other side without having 4 hands. And the deal is that the insert prevents the bead from going down into the valley of the rim. So I think that probably the thing to do would have been to lay the insert out in the hot sun for like 20 minutes and then let it get soft and then give it a good stretch. Wow. Not as easy as it looks in the videos. If I didn't have this tool, that would have been rougher. I really think that the deal is you gotta stretch out the inner tube or the insert first a little bit. How you do that? Heat gun, I guess. You know, hair dryer, just so it gets warm, and you give it an inch or two. It's got to ride up in here and not be so tight right on the bead. But yeah, that's it. So now add I think it's 120 milliliters of stand sealant, and then blow it up. So I'm using Stan's tubeless sealant. So probably the just easiest way to do this, if you got to go through the valve, is to just use this as an applicator. So I would need 2 of these, but I've got the 240 mil, so this is 60, so I'll do 2. Okay, so I got the tire on, got the valve back in, got the sealant in. Now blow it up. It says that it's rated for a minimum of 29 pounds and a maximum of 58 pounds. I just so happen to have an air compressor, sweet. That always scares me. 40 pounds. Close enough for government work. So let's see, so what I do is I check to make sure that the rim is all the way exposed here, that very little thin strip on both sides, and it is. Okay, then the standard thing is, you shake it up, give it a bounce, shake it up again. Ideally, you just take it out and ride it. And the last time I did it, it's not unusual for your tire to be low the next day. In fact, you kind of expect it. And a funny thing, tubeless tires are not guaranteed to be 100% non-porous. So there could be tiny little holes that the sealant fills as you ride it, which I would expect. I'd always just said, well, of course tires don't have any porous parts to it, but no, they do. I think only if a tire says tubeless, not tubeless ready, is it guaranteed to be non-porous. So that's it. I guess that's it. I'll take this out and compare it to the other tire to show you. So on the left, that's a 2.35, and on the right, that's a 2.1. It's a little bit thinner. So the old tire is actually 2.3, and the new tire is 2.1. Yeah, there it is. Oh, and one thing I think you might find that you like is these little things called handlebar jacks. The tank has like that Peak Design iPhone holder, and boy, those little jacks come in handy. They pack up very small. So here are those little handlebar jacks, and when they you want to fold them up, they both nest into each other like that. Okay, so here's the front tire that I've not changed yet. So we'll pop this one off and pop the new tire on. We'll see if experience speeds up things. Just one observation. I was just looking at the tread from the old tire. Look how little wear there is after 400 miles on the road. It's really amazing, modern technology. Okay, got the tire off, and I spent some time with the heat gun, and just got it warm and just gave it some stretching and some tugging and like this. So now it does fit on easily, which you want it to be almost sloppy, I think, because what you don't want it to do is that this gets so embedded down into the valley that you're trying to put on the tire while it's right on the bead. Okay, so round 2. So before you put on tires, always look at the rotation, so it's gotta match. Alrighty, so before I start, I'll give it a little spray, just a little bit. Remember to put the notch where the valve is. See how easily that goes on now? Experience. Make double dog sure that the rotation is going the way I think it should go. Boy, let me tell you, that is so much easier when you give that liner a little stretch. Just so much easier. So make sure that the valve is right on that little notch. Try to seat the liner first. Get it on the inside. Do a little adjustment there on that notch. And starting from the opposite of the notch, you're going to start to do the final bead. Easy, that's good. I like what you've done there. I love this little tool for this very reason. It gives me one extra hand. Gold. Gold, Jerry, gold. The words monkey and football come to mind. If you've ever been in the military. Oh man, that's just so much easier. All right. Well, that was about half the work with the liner being stretched out. So now we'll add some sealant to it, kind of massage the insert a little bit so it's straight in that cavity. Or maybe I'll blow it up first and then add sealer. Always scares me. So the good thing about using the just soapy water is it'll show you if there's any leaks. And when you look right there, there's some bubbles. Now that's right on the seam of the rim. Rims can leak. I believe the cheap rims leak. The expensive ones have better welds. But you just got to rely on the sealant to stop up that hole. So now to put 120 milliliters of sealant. It's seated. There's still that one leak, but that may take overnight. But you can still just check for any other leaks just with a little bit of soapy water. If there's a leak, it'll show up immediately. The leak's already been sealed. I tilted the wheel up a little bit so it got some of the sealant in that hole. It's a WTB. It's not like it's junk, but all right. So we'll put it on and take it out for a spin. Wow, that's so much better. The tank is back. One thing that I noticed is it's a lot quieter. The bigger the knobbies, the bigger the tread, the more noise it makes. On my fat tire bike, it's extremely noisy when I ride it. But this is much quieter, much faster. It just feels lighter, more quick. So I can definitely see how putting those in, you can ride on a flat tire. Maybe you wouldn't even notice. It's 2.1 is definitely the smallest tire you can put on those Tannus Armour liners. I'll leave a link for those below too. But yeah, what an improvement! It's great. So I know tubeless tires are a pain, but man, when you get a flat, it's just all it takes is a minute. Pop in a dart or a plug or a bacon strip, and you're off. I mean, it's that fast. You have to take off any tires. I just had, as they said in a movie, bad luck. So I was thinking of a line from The Wedding Singer. This would have been useful information 3 weeks ago. when I could have enjoyed these super nice tires. Anyway, so I hope that helps somebody, and we'll see you out on the trail. Bye-bye.